Hi all, Rick here. So, following on from the Borg cube, which I recently covered, let's take a look into the lore of the smaller cousin that's better at rolling, the Sphere. The design of the Sphere came about when a new impactful design was wanted to work alongside the cube. While a simple shape, I can see what they mean. The Type 3 that had been introduced prior is definitely a more interesting design, but often gets forgotten alongside the simple geometry ships that the Borg are famous for. Designer John Eves wanted to ensure the ship did not look too much like the Death Star, and one concept from Ricardo Delgado had a really unique take on a half-sphere with a top dome of contained energy and matter, giving it a half-and-half appearance. In order to ensure the sphere looked different enough, darker metals and a very uneven, crevassed surface were created with the deliberate avoidance of repeating patterns or regularity. So, on to the in-universe lore. The Borg Sphere had a multitude of roles that it was used for, mostly scouting missions. However, with the Borg, even scouting missions are a little more involved, as the spheres are tasked with locating something, then they'll usually set about attempting to assimilate it, if it appears that the sphere has the upper hand. If not, then it will call in reinforcements if it is deemed worth the investment, or simply mark the discovery and continue on its way if not. The spheres are also deployed on tactical missions or specialist tasks, such as assimilating a small colony that has been previously catalogued. The spheres are far less durable than the cube ships, although they feature many of the same abilities. An array of quantum torpedoes is often enough to shatter through the sphere's defences and rip it apart if they are not adapted to it already. However, the Borg are willing to throw their spheres into danger far more willingly than their cubes, thanks to the sheer number of drones and vessels that the collective oversees. Everything to them is cold cost versus benefit calculations, so they will gladly send a single vessel against an unknown threat to gauge its capabilities and collect the information they need to adapt. Of course, another factor of the spheres is that they can often be assigned to a mother cube vessel, docked inside a specialist launch bay for deployment. In First Contact, we witness the sphere is time travel capable, but this generally appears to be a technology that is implemented across numerous Borg ships where needed. The Borg Sphere has a diameter of 600 meters, which gives it everything of 600 meters. The initial sphere was scaled behind the scenes to 457 meters. However, there has since been an on-screen vocalization that it was approximately 600, so that's the figure we're going with. Crew complement is hard to gauge, as it is with most Borg vessels, as a lot of the crew, when regenerating, is very much part of the crew, part of the ship, and it looks to be around 11,000 though. Much as their larger vessels, the Borg Sphere was Transwarp capable, with access to the expansive Borg Transwarp network, as well as regular Transwarp drives when in proximity. Much like other Borg ships, the Sphere lacked a distinct engineering section, with the subsystems scattered all throughout the vessel. Its maximum conventional warp speed was warp 9.99 for an undetermined amount of time. In terms of armaments, the Sphere possessed numerous weapon points across the surface, as well as both plasma and photon torpedoes, plasma beams, and the infamous Borg cutting beams and tractor technology. The latter is paired with an energy-draining effect to siphon and disrupt enemy power systems, allowing for easier assimilation. Defensively, the Sphere possessed the same regenerative shielding that could adapt with its subspace field to neutralize any incoming fire. This system, however, did have a localized point of origin within the ship. The hull itself was layered with ablative armor to disperse incoming fire, something that the generic cube seemed to lack. Naturally, it also could regenerate the hull if needed, repairing itself through the use of nanites and drones. Many of the limitations of the Sphere seem solely down to its reduced size. The fearsome reputation of the cube is in part down to the sheer scale of that ship. allowing it numerous backups, workarounds, and supplying a huge amount of power to its numerous systems. Likewise, the high drone count aboard offers the cube increased computing speeds than the lesser sphere, despite having access to all the same tech. This means that the sphere is more easily overwhelmed, but has the same adaptability and multiple abilities at that, making it a tenacious foe. It is not to be underestimated, as the Borg adaptations still can render any offensive tactic void, meaning that in most circumstances it does not matter if you are attacking a lone sphere or a fleet of cubes. The Borg are not being harmed at all if they have already adapted. Another factor to remember is that the Borg have a wide knowledge basis to draw from, possibly an unparalleled one among contemporaries. This means that the crew of any Borg vessel can fabricate and create new tech aboard ships as and when they need it, providing it's something they've assimilated. So it's unwise to assume any single sphere is exactly the same as the next, despite their uniform appearance. While the sphere is a less capable ship, its appearance is no less terrifying to the unprepared, as it heralds that the Borg have discovered you, and because of their collective mind, where even one sphere treads, the entirety of the collective can follow. Thanks for watching this breakdown on the Borg Sphere. As a bonus fact, I'll add in this apocryphal tidbit. The Romulan Narada vessel that started the whole Kelvin timeline thing, well, that ship was created from the reverse-engineered Borg tech that the Romulans had been collecting from a derelict sphere that they had recovered in a facility known as the Vault. Thanks again for watching. I've been Rick, and I'll see you next time for another lore video. Thanks again, and goodbye.